in the deaf community, you have name signs. And so I had a deaf woman who's an instructor of deaf children, Nicole Mitchell. She actually gifted me a name sign. And so it's the letter E, and the sign for gold is this. So it's E in the shape of gold. So it's like that.
Wow.
So it's a pretty cool gift.
So cool. All right, welcome to Never Offside. Tailing off of International Women's Day, we have the most perfect guest, Miss Alana Myers-Taylor of USA Bobsled. She just won her gold medal in Milan, and it is just so cool to see her story with 5 Olympics. That's insane. So can't wait for that. Julie, has anything happened in your world lately?
I literally have to this is the first actual moment I've had to sit down and not process. I've been processing all weekend. But yeah, my husband was traded last week, last Thursday to be exact. It's been quite the last little bit, I guess. Yeah. I have been in Charleston, South Carolina for a hockey tournament since Thursday, since I found out. Got back 1 a.m. last night. So I'm just sitting at a computer with a calendar and really trying to okay, what does life look like now? Yeah.
Okay, so you have to explain a little bit because we did a little poll of questions and we had so many questions just asking about how much of heads up do you have? And do you have an inkling? I know, but let's give a little judge on, did you have any idea?
Okay, so in our instance, we didn't know we were getting traded. I think sometimes you do know you're getting traded in the off season.
Sometimes it's very clear.
Sometimes
clear
it's very clear. I would say just me personally, 3 weeks ago, I was kind of looking at where we are in the standings. I'm just no dummy to this life and my husband, where he's at, what kind of role he plays. I really think I should be a GM one day, but
that's our next life.
That's for another. So I literally floated it. I was like, what if you get traded? And I say that to random people here and there, and they're like, no way. And I'm like, okay, there's a way.
Because he's only on a 1-year contract.
He's on a 1-year contract. He'd be a free agent.
Yep.
Teams that are looking to make a push in the playoffs are looking for depth defensemen always.
Yep.
Veteran presence that has had playoff experience. So all of that is in the back of my head. Whatever. So to answer your question, did we know we were getting traded? No, but I kind of started thinking about it, if you will. But obviously not expecting anything. I had just started our 9-hour drive to Charleston with our 2 oldest boys, and I was about an hour in, and I was kind of on a work friend, just catching up with one of our line change girls and just shoring up some things for our Call the Girls events. And Jeff beeped in twice. And he never, he's never calling me a million times in a row. I was like, hang on, something's up. Sure enough, so he's like, it sounds like I'm going to be traded to Minnesota. And I'm like, blah, beep,
yeah.
What, huh? Should I turn around? Instantly, my mode goes into what am I doing with 8 hours ahead of me in the car? I need to turn around to do what? I just was
yeah, what are you going to turn around to do?
Yeah, so I'm just 95 north, kind of in this paralysis state of what? And also trying not to say it too loud where the boys can hear, because I'm just not quite sure if it's a for sure thing. Anyways, a lot of back and forth.
Because at this point it was I might be getting traded.
Yeah. So anyways, the gist of it was just between Jeff's agent and him and Bill Zito, the GM of Florida, it was just some back and forth there, which was really quite amazing. Zito was very transparent with the situation to Jeff. It's the first year Jeff has had like no trade protection either in quite some time. So that was like a new thing or whatever. But Zito just respected our family and our situation and kind of like really, he just like really, he was just super transparent about the whole thing.
Yeah, that's great.
With Jeff, like, you know, making that decision with our family in tow. But ultimately, it was a super opportunity for Jeff. And just, I don't know, consider it on all ends, I guess you will. And so, yeah, we like knew it was like confirmed at like 12:30 Eastern time, but it wasn't announced until like 4. So we were like sitting there, like I think I called you.
I was
like,
at the airport when it finally broke, and I was watching it on the
yeah,
screen.
it was crazy because it was like all done. Like Jeff had talked to both GMs on both sides. You know, like thank you for everything in Florida to Bill Zito, to welcome from Billy Guerin in Minnesota, all before 1 p.m. And he was in okay, so that's the other part is like, where does Jeff go? Does he come home?
Yeah.
Because Florida was on the road.
That's always fun when they're on the road when they get traded.
Yes.
You're like, all
and
right.
so he was in Columbus, slated to play that night. And so just everything starts to move in like warp speed. And, you know, Minnesota's calling, you know, their player personnel, they're calling to, you know, get logistics set up to get him from Columbus to meet wherever their team is, which they were in Vegas.
Yeah.
So he was booked on a flight for like 7:30 p.m. that night. So he just walked over to the rink in Columbus, grabbed his gear, talked to a couple of the trainers there, said goodbye, walked back or got an Uber back with his bag, and then like the team bus was leaving for the game as he was like pulling back up to the hotel. So there really wasn't any goodbye because they were already off, and it's right before a game, so you're not really like
you're not really like
chatting about
he
that.
probably wasn't very well packed.
Yeah, not well packed, but well enough that they were in northern climates, so he had like he has some like warmer gear with him. But yeah, just right on a flight to Vegas. I'm just stuck in our car driving 9 hours. I literally was like,
You're in a glass case of emotions.
I'm in a glass case of emotions, like, and it's like, I can't even explain it. It's like the amount of outreach, I guess, that came in. It's like, are you okay? Are you this?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm fine. And then I came to realize, like, situations change and everybody changes throughout year to year and how trades affect them.
Yep.
We are
100%.
so wonderfully set up in Florida right now that like whatever was happening, like I'm good. The boys are good. So like that actually like allowed this whole like move to Minnesota for Jeff. Like just like
Not to say easy, but
but it is because we are so good. I mean, I drive a golf cart to school every day with my kids. Like we are so set. So you know, it was like the processing of like, you know, everybody's like, I think everybody's initial reaction is, oh my gosh, Julie has to pick up the kids and are going to move to Minnesota tomorrow. And I'm like, whoa. But nobody knows our circumstance, our situation. And I'm like, we good.
Yeah.
So the plan is the boys and I are going to stay in Florida for the rest of the school year. And that's a great thing. Like, that's a wonderful thing. It's amazing that I feel so supported and set up here and confident that I can actually, like, do this kind of crazy solo parenting thing for a bit.
Yeah.
But it's just a testament to, like, this community and whatnot. And even Bill Zito just saying to Jeff, like, you know, Julie's still part of the Panthers family. Like anything she needs, like we're here. And they have been. There's so many, like my brain went to our kids auction is coming up and I donated tickets to the school auction for a game coming up. And, you know,
But they're
instantly
no longer your tickets.
they're no longer our tickets because we are no longer on the team. And I'm like,
so
oh my
weird.
God, I gotta. And like right away, it was like the dumbest thing, but that was like the thing that popped into my head. And Jeff, obviously through talking to team service guys, they're like, yeah, we'll let us know the game and we got you the tickets.
Well, even the Call the Girls event coming up, like you're no
Oh my-
longer one of
yeah,
the
it's
Florida
just
girls.
yeah, it's just been so my brain goes into like logistics
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like that.
That
But
is
yeah.
kind of a weird imposter syndrome that happens, right? Like when Ty was traded from LA, like I'm still in LA, we still live in LA, that's still home. So when I go to Kings games and I see all my friends, it's like a weird, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like that same kind of thing where it's like, oh,
Totally.
not the same team, but
Well, yeah.
nothing's changed. Like I don't know how to explain it, but
No, it's but again, it's like your circumstances are different in every setup that you're in, and it's just a testament to how comfortably set up we've been here in Florida and how quickly we've integrated into like the community here.
Yeah.
That is allowing this to be so much easier and smooth, if you will.
Yeah.
So
it's just so different when you put some roots down, right? So
Yeah.
you guys have your house there, you have Detroit, so you've got home bases. So
Yeah.
that's a different thing. People asking like, "Oh, are you just going to pick up and move?" type thing. Sometimes you are in a city where you're just renting an apartment, and then you just gotta like go to a whole new city that you don't know, and you have to pack that place up, find a new place, and that's always a little
exactly
difficult.
or like when you don't have kids
Yeah.
obviously I had a lot of time to reflect
Yeah,
and do
in
a
your-
lot
in your
in
Glasgow.
my journey north. But like the last time we were traded at a deadline was 10 years ago, and I was pregnant with Boyd from Edmonton to Montreal. And like my mindset there was like, I have to get to Montreal next week. Like I have to
Yeah.
be there for his first home game in Montreal. Like that was like such a different mindset. And then like I have to find a place for us to live.
Yep.
And now I have 4 grown kids that are in school 5 days a week. Like that
Yeah.
doesn't, my husband also does not have, like, he's not extended in a contract. It's not like we're there for 3 more years in Minnesota.
Yeah.
And I'm going to look for schools and look for, like,
No,
that's
he's
weird.
good in the hotel while we're at home doing our thing.
Yes, exactly. So that is the plan. The Petrie plan is Jeff is in Minnesota. We are conveniently, this is our spring break. So the boys and I are packing up and going up for spring break, which coincidentally they have a great homestand this week. So it works out well.
Oh,
And
they're
then,
probably so excited. The boys are probably so stoked to see a like new hockey crazed town arena.
yeah,
too.
they're,
You know?
well, they're most excited to meet Quinn Hughes. Like they literally
yeah.
are like, you're going to play with Quinn Hughes. And I'm
That's
like,
so funny.
that is, yes, you are. And I'm like having like Boyd, now they know when we're in the car, you know, we get like more, it's like official. And I'm like talking to the boys about it, and Boyd like pulling up the roster, pulling up stats. Like he's telling me everything about Minnesota because I know nothing
Yeah.
about the team. So it is, it's everybody, we are super excited and thrilled for this opportunity. You know, ultimately for Jeff to play in a postseason is something really special, and we are very excited for.
What trade number of this was Jeff's? How many times has he been traded? I was trying to. So.
Well, it's complicated with Montreal because we were traded.
Oh yes.
So
yes,
we were
yeah.
traded to Montreal, then we were traded from Montreal to Pittsburgh, then we
Yes.
were traded back to
Back to
Montreal
Montreal.
for Pittsburgh, then we were traded to Detroit, then we signed
Signed
in Florida, and now we were traded.
Okay. Yeah.
So 5.
Yes. 5. Okay. So Ty
Technically.
was LA to Van. That was a trade. Then he signed in Montreal. Montreal to Calgary was a trade. Calgary to Jersey was a trade during the summer, which is summer's an interesting,
It's
very
a totally different ballgame.
Very different. It's
Different ballgame.
That's the easy calm, right?
Yeah.
You just have to get back to Calgary to move all your stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Then from Jersey to Winnipeg, that was a trade for playoffs, and then signed here. So four trades. But yeah, it's so interesting. All
That
these
sounded
questions
a
we
lot
got.
more than 4 trade. That sounded a lot more than 4.
No, I think it was 4, right?
Yeah.
Did I just count that right? Yeah. But the 3 came on one contract, so that was like the
Yeah.
ping pong moment
Yes.
during the Montreal contract.
Yeah.
But it is funny. So everyone's asking about these trades and stuff. It's just different every time. Like Julie's is different right now. The summer trade is a whole different thing where you're like at home, just like,
Yeah.
okay, well, I have time, you know,
Yeah.
to like figure things out and find a place. Sometimes you have no time and you're just figuring it out as you go. And so it's
Yeah.
different for everyone, but it's emotional. It's crazy. It's never not emotional, even when it's quote unquote easy. So shout out to everyone right now that we know who is going through a move or anything, because it's never.
I feel like this trade
Not
deadline
emotional.
was insane. There was a lot of. There's one little guy. It was insane. I feel like a ton went on. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of moving pieces across the league right now. But I'm just laughing. Like I was dreading my 9-hour drive up there, but it was honestly probably the best place for me to be, because there's a moment after you get traded, like if you're home, you like kind of just like walk around in circles.
Yeah, you don't
for
know what
like
to do.
an hour,
You start
and
putting
you
away
don't know
stuff.
what to do. Yeah, or you like start cleaning out stuff, and you're just like, okay, wait, just like sit for a second. So it's probably the best situation for me to be in, because I talked on the phone for like 8 hours out of
Yeah.
the 9-hour drive, but like really, and it was like every emotion. But then the next day, I feel like I had like come down from an adrenaline. I like
Yeah.
looked at the calendar and I was like, okay, here we go. Like now it's time to like, figure out like the puzzle pieces. But I'm dying because that morning of the trade, I posted this picture on
Yes.
my Instagram. And if y'all
That's not
follow
on
me,
purpose.
I posted this picture of Blake like making this like funny like double chin like cheesy face, just because I thought it was hilarious. And I've just been dealing with like my back has been out, like I've just been dealing with like, and just one foot in front of the other, not even remotely related to trade talk or
Yeah.
anything.
It was
And
just
then
life.
my husband gets traded, not even on trade deadline day. Like it was the day before. It was a very random time. Like, and I am dying because everybody like who gets on Instagram and sees that thinks that that's like my reaction to
Yeah,
the
like
trade.
you knew something early.
But it was kind of perfect because
Yeah.
it was just kind of like, it was like a super happy, but like, I don't know what's happening.
I want to be in
type
your
of
DMs.
face.
I want to see the responses
The
to that.
DMs were so funny that day. And then I posted the like, what I miss sort of thing. Oh my God. I screenshot a couple of them. People are funny on the internet. Like one of them,
That's why I can't quit.
one of them was like, girl, I think you missed a couple phone calls from your husband. Like,
That's funny. He just became a meme of your life that day, which is hilarious.
it was wild. And now we're just going to gear up for the next few months. And I'm just dying because it was the typical, like he went on the road. So we met him in Vegas, then they went to Colorado, but Jeff's like shopping, FaceTiming me shopping. Like,
I hate the post-trade shopping. It pisses me off more than anything. You have all these clothes at home. And
yeah,
you have
well,
to go
I
buy
have,
more.
I've got to go FaceTime him after this and go pack a suitcase for him.
Yep.
With any warm gear that we have here in Florida. Otherwise, his mom's going to our house in Michigan.
Michigan, at least.
And look, I'm
Yes.
got all this, but it's
You know,
it's
it's-
just so funny. And one last thing, he goes because he finally got back to Minnesota last night, and they're in a hotel for a little bit, and she's like, "Welcome, we have you for the next 54 nights." I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, actually, that's wild. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, the team normally puts you up in a hotel. That's something that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a. You know what's
And then
funny?
we'll figure it out. We'll look for like an air. We'll look
But
for
you've
like
got
an
time.
Airbnb.
You've got time. This is a nice situation. You know, it's weird. A mutual friend of ours also got traded, Tanner Pearson, and I did not see him when he was here last week playing on Winnipeg. I like didn't make it to dinner and I couldn't go to the game, and now he's back next week on Buffalo. So now I actually get to see him, like
Oh my
our
gosh.
annual dinner. You know,
Yeah,
like it's
that's
so
so
funny.
funny.
It's not funny, but I missed seeing him. I was sad about it, and
Yeah.
now I'm like,
Oh,
see
it's
you-
back on.
See you next week, Taylor,
Yeah.
on a different team. All so crazy. Trades are wild, but you know,
Yeah. Well, that's funny too. Yeah, Jeff comes and plays here in 2 weeks.
perfect.
So that'll be an adventure in and of itself.
wait, that's when Ty got traded to Winnipeg. They came back into the New York trip right after, so we
Yeah.
got to all like. It's just so crazy. Like
I know.
that. Like,
So, and that's how we're planning kind of like our visits. Like we're going for spring break. We're coming back for a week. He'll be here. He'll be here for a couple of days, and then once it's April, we'll figure it out, and then once it's playoffs, it'll just be crazy.
Wild world, but
Oh, no pun intended. Wild world.
Wild.
Yeah. So I know that was the first reaction to the boys. I'm like, this is wild. And
Quite literally.
Quite literally. It's so wild. But this is fitting that my kids are on spring break and they are coming in here. But up next, we are going to speak with the incredibly decorated Olympian athlete, Alana Myers-Taylor. And we just chat all things about her Olympic gold moment, how she got there, how she met her husband in bobsledding, and all while her 3-year-old son is just climbing all over her. She's totally the ultimate multitasker mom. I think, Olympic gold medalist is one thing. She is a super mom to boot. So that is up next.
Welcome back to Never Offside. We're here with our guest.
This is my kind of podcast.
Yes, I love it.
He's gonna just keep jumping
We are
in.
going to
love it.
have the best time
Offside.
because I have my 4 kids and I see we got a party going over there.
Yes.
All right, let me
With
formally.
only just one of them jumping in too. It's not even.
We don't have both yet. All right, I'll formally introduce our guest. She and I know each other back from college softball days, where I knew her as my shortstop and she knew me as second base. But then she went on to let the world know about her in 5 Olympics, winning 2 bronze, 3 silver, and we all just watched her win her golden moment in Milan for USA bobsled. So please welcome badass mom of 2 boys, Miss Alana Myers-Taylor. Welcome, Alana. It's so good to see you.
Good to see you too. How's everyone doing today?
You're
Good.
doing great.
Yeah, I feel like this is a fun moment for all you 2 boy moms right now.
I literally,
jeez.
this is the best thing I've ever seen because this would be my life right now if I unlocked this office door. I have 4 boys, Alana, so learning that you had 2, I feel this boy mom connect with you instantly.
Yeah, I just don't understand where this energy comes from. It's just non-stopping and so rough and tumble. Like we don't even have a dining room table anymore. We just have a room full of mats. That's all.
Yes, I get that.
I feel like the energy came from you. Just knowing how much you've come throughout the years to come to where you are right now. It's insane. I've told Julie your story like for years now. Like we were in Montreal almost 6 years ago, and I was telling her how, I played college softball with this amazing girl, and now she's like a very decorated Olympian.
Yeah, your name has been thrown around a lot, and until this last Olympics, seeing you achieve your gold, and Kat is bringing your name up yet again. To have you on today is just so special, and me diving into your story even more. I want to go back. So you and Kat were softball teammates back at George Washington, and then you go into bobsledding world.
Yes.
First off, can we just get a little bit of like what was Kat like in college? Can
Before we
just
get to your golden moment?
can we just like get a little tea on Kat because we feel like that's a mystery to all.
There's not much tea though, because Kat was a great teammate and she was really fun to work with, and I had a lot of fun playing with her. So there's not much tea. Like I don't know about any extracurricular activities because George Washington kind of limits that with the school schedule and everything like that. So and softball schedules. I mean, softball schedules are ridiculous for college athletes. Like looking back, I don't know how anybody ever played. I don't know how we played. And back at the time, like George Washington was relatively new with softball. They didn't have as many games as they even play now. So it's like kind of incredible. But no, I mean, Kat was a great teammate. I loved playing with her. You have all the little things where you have the little inside jokes, the shortstop and second baseman and things like that. I remember always people had this instinct to pick up Kat, though. That's the thing I do remember is like people always wanted to pick her up, and I'm like, why? What is this thing? I don't know. That was kind of always weird. Struck me as weird. It's like whenever people met Kat, they're like, oh, let's pick her up. It's like, no, she's an adult woman. What is going on?
Alana was very protective and very welcoming from coming to the East Coast from California. Just the most welcoming teammate always. So I can see that now into bobsled. I just watched you become this like protective, amazing teammate. So it's crazy.
I mean, softball, the softball is weird transition. Like most of the bobsledders come from track and field, so they don't have that team sport background. But I think that really gave me an edge up in bobsled. And yes, I'm trying to focus with this guy.
Yeah, he's so cool.
This is your other Olympic sport.
Yes, this is. I mean, you talk about 4 boys, like that deserves a medal of its own. Like 2 boys is just chaos, and 4, like parenting is definitely the hardest thing in the world, way harder than winning Olympic medals. So if that gives you any solace, like just take it, because it's a lot harder.
Well, this kind of reminds us of your golden moment, because you were having the celebration and the boys were there with you. It was so great. Can you just, I know you've probably done so many of these interviews just about that moment, but can you just take us into like what you're doing watching that race? What are you watching? Are you watching the clock? And then like what feeling hit you?
Oh my gosh. So watching the race, first of all, the pilot that was after me, Laura Nolte, she's pretty experienced and she's already an Olympic champion. So I wasn't really expecting her to make many mistakes. But at the very beginning of the race, out of corner 2, which is like a really difficult corner for all of us, she made a pretty crucial mistake. So then I knew the clock was going to turn red, and red in our cases means they're behind us. And so I knew the clock was going to turn red after that. But really after that point, I'm watching to make sure it doesn't turn green. And so when she got down to the bottom and the time went away, she was 600ths behind, and then she started clawing back. I was like, oh no, come on, stay red, and she did. And when she crossed the line, like it was just so much joy and so much, like I felt for her in the sense that I've been in that situation. Like I've led a race at the games before, led for 3 runs and then lose it on the last run. Like I know exactly what that feels like, but at the same time, like it was like disbelief for me that we had actually done it, that we had actually finally, after 5 Olympics and so many years of working towards it, like we finally won a gold medal. Like it was just incredible.
Oh my God. And that was your nanny with you, right?
Yeah, she was also my bobsled teammate. So bobsled in the U.S., we're still kind of developing, and we still don't have a deep pool of pilots right now. So she usually competes in the lower level circuit, but this year we didn't have any pilots down there in the lower level circuit. So she opted to come with me and be my nanny and help me out with the boys this year. So it was really nice though, because she knows so much about bobsled, and she was able to help like with my equipment setups and able to help like brainstorming different ideas and race strategy and stuff like that, in addition to taking care of the boys.
Oh my God.
Wow. It takes a village, and that is like such a unique part. Like I can't imagine having like the comfort of your boys taken care of, but also she knows your needs too. Like that seems like a little unicorn situation there, and maybe allowed you to get that gold. That's incredible. How I want to pivot back. Where you went from softball to bobsled? Like where did that come from? How did that just even come into play? And next, wrestling.
Yes. Well, Kat could tell more of the story, but the softball program at GW went through quite a bit at that time period and stuff like that. But I was determined to try and make a way with softball. But at the end of the day, it wasn't meant to be. So I had an Olympic tryout with softball. I played professionally for a season and had an Olympic tryout, and it was a disaster of a tryout. Like it was so bad, and it was kind of crazy, to see all the girls that I tried out with to go on and compete, and it was Monica Abbott, which you know very well, and all these kind of players and stuff like that. But my tryout at the same time was a disaster of a tryout. So I knew I wasn't going to make the Olympic softball team. Like it was that bad. And there's so many girls that play across the country. Like once you have something that bad, you don't get another shot. So when that didn't work out, like I was still determined to be an Olympian. And it was actually my parents who saw bobsled on TV and said, "Hey, why don't you give this a try?" And I was like, well, sure. If they look for strong, fast, powerful athletes, why not? So I Googled it, emailed the coach, and got invited to try out. And that was in 2007, just shortly after I finished at GW. We're going to move.
Wait, your dad, who played in the NFL, he just saw it on TV, and he was like, Alana would be great at this.
Yeah. I don't know if it's because, but also like because of it's a cool runnings thing, right? They take the athletes from a whole bunch of different sports and just convert them. And so knowing that like loosely based history, which is not very accurate, like they just saw an opportunity there. And for me, that's exactly what it was. It was an opportunity to try something different and see if it would work.
Amazing.
Well, it worked.
Yeah, it worked. So you went to that tryout, and the rest is history, basically?
Kind of. I wasn't very good when I first started. The softball skills, like most athletes, come from track and field, so they have a little bit more polished background in terms of knowing how to run, knowing how to lift, knowing how to do all those things. And you know, softball players, you're trained to run from base to base. At most, you're running one time around the bases, and most of the time you're trotting. So if you're going all the way around, most of the time you're trotting, so you don't really have that same type of running style. So I used to literally, when I was trying to figure out how to do this and everything, just look around and see what other people were doing and just try and copy them. So it took me a couple of years to try and figure out like how to actually train for it, and then also how to push a sled. Like I actually used to, when I got into the sled, I would figure 4 slide into a sled, which is not how you get into a sled at all. So it was pretty terrible at the beginning. I have a whole blooper reel from my first season of just me falling and trying to get in the sled and all this kind of stuff. But eventually, you know, with a lot of work, I got the hang of it and made my first Olympic team in 2010.
I think you need to post the blooper reel.
If I can find it, it's on a CD. Like, that's how long ago it was. It's, like, I don't even have a CD player in my computer anymore. I don't know who does.
No, that's crazy, especially
true.
now after your 5 Olympics. Let's release the bloopers.
Get it We gotta find it. Get it converted, right?
That's actually crazy. So Alana and I have had like so many like mutual friends throughout the years since college. It's actually crazy. But a friend of mine, Nick from Monterey, that I grew up with, was track and field, and you guys trained together as well, right?
Yep. And the same Nick Cunningham was also a college teammate of my husband, Nick Taylor. So it was just, this guy's had a lot of different connections to everything. So it's kind of funny in that sense.
Okay, husband.
Yeah.
We got to go into this.
Husband. So Kat brought me up to speed that you competed with your husband. So like, how did this, tell us how that came to fruition. Where did that all start?
So my husband actually was a track and field coach. He ran track and field at Boise State and then Cal State Northridge. And then he was a track and field coach at UCLA. And then, so, there we go. And then, so he was actually training somebody to try out for bobsled. And he went to the tryout with them and then ended up trying out as well. And so when he went to try out, his paperwork actually got lost and he got slipped through the system. And I was working as an intern at the time to make sure that kind of thing didn't happen. So when it happened, I ended up getting on the phone with him, spent like 4 hours on the phone with him. And then he came out to try out for bobsled. We met in person, and then like 3 days later we were dating and have been together ever since. And then what ended up happening, so he was competing for the men's team, I was competing for the women's team, and then they eventually, women only had the 2 women discipline, and men had 2-man and 4-man. Well, the women didn't think this was right. We wanted another opportunity to compete. We wanted another opportunity to medal. So we fought to be able to do 4-man competitions. So they allowed us to do 4-man competitions with men. We had to compete with and against the men, and eventually my husband ended up pushing for me for a couple races. So yeah, he helped me make the first national team on the men's national team. So yeah, he's pushed for me on and off. Yeah, it's been pretty fun.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like, what a story. And then just like historical, because you're part of becoming, like, you know, that combination team you're talking about. I didn't even know was a thing in bobsled. That is so, and then a love story to top it off.
Yeah, he kind of didn't have much of a choice, though, to push me. Like, it's either push me or sleep on the couch. You choose. Like, those are your options.
What a chivalrous guy.
You know?
Does he? So now, okay. So watching him with you in Milan, how's that work? Like when you train, does he train with you? Like how do you guys work as a couple, like a power couple, I guess?
So he retired from bobsled, competing in bobsled after the 22 games, and now he's a chiropractor and strength and conditioning coach for NBA players and a variety of other different types of athletes. So he's also my chiropractor and strength and conditioning coach as well. So now he's actually more in the coaching role, and so he does everything off the ice to try and help me perform the best I can on the ice.
The pots and pans are out. I love it. Like, literally, this is my life.
Stop making this easy. Usually, my husband's on his way home, by the way, just on that note. But yeah, so that also includes, like, during the races, he was helping with some of the childcare with the kids and also doing stuff actually at the track. Because believe it or not, this is going to even sound funnier, at those particular Olympics, he was actually working as the chiropractor for the Jamaican bobsled team. So he was kind of a jack of all trades. He was still doing everything he needed to do for me, and then also working for Jamaica too.
Oh, that's so cool. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm like, I need to make like a spreadsheet of you. You're couple,
all over the
like,
place.
Everything that you're doing. I'm like blown away. So he's side cheering for Jamaica and then also taking care of you. Where is he? What NBA team is he with currently?
So right now, most of his players are on the Spurs. So we're in Texas at the moment. So. Yeah.
Oh, I'm from Texas, so that's a little piece of my heart there.
I love this. Okay, so the Milan games, we were all over it. It was so fun to watch. Take us into like behind the scenes. Were you in the village? Did you get to go to any other sports? Like how was the Olympics for you?
So I was not in the village because I had the kids with me. The kids travel with me. I have 2 kids. The kids travel with me season round. So we were in Europe from November 1st all the way through the games. And so in order for me to be with the kids at the games, I had to stay off site. So we stayed right in downtown Cortina, which was actually kind of nice because as you can imagine, like even in the village, you know, you have a whole bunch of different athletes and some athletes finish early. And then those athletes, you know, enjoy the rest of their games. Let's just put it that way. But you're still living with them. You're still right next to them, and they're enjoying their games experience. So it could be kind of a distraction. And then also, too, I'm a pretty empathetic person. And sometimes, you know, a lot of athletes within the village are pretty anxious and things like that. And so that kind of energy rubs off, whether it's good or bad. So it's hard sometimes. So the past 3 games, I've stayed off the village even without my kids being there. So, but now, yes, outside of the village. And then we got to go to Women's Alpine. So the downhill, unfortunately, where Lindsey Vonn had her accident and everything. But Breezy Johnson won. So it was a pretty cool experience to be able to see that. But that's really all we got to. Like, with our preparations and everything and how many races we have 2 races and stuff, we weren't really able to do much.
Yeah, because right after you won your gold, you had to go right back into go mode.
Yep. And also, there just wasn't that many events down in Cortina. Like in Milan, there was a lot more events, but they weren't even providing transportation for a lot of us to get down to Milan. So we were kind of stuck in Cortina if you wanted to see anything.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so 5 Olympics, you've become probably quite good friends with other sports. So we just had Kendall on last week. So it seems like you two are tight. So any hockey girls that you're tight with other than her? And how's that relationship go just like in running in the same Olympic circles, I guess?
I mean, the biggest thing is like the U.S. women's hockey team has made a point to go out to Lake Placid the past couple of years, the past couple of games, which has been, we spent a lot of time with them out there at the training center and stuff like that. So I know Kendall very well, especially going through the whole mom experience and stuff like that with her and Drew and everything like that. And then also Hillary and a lot of the younger girls haven't really met because they've been a little preoccupied, but a lot of the OGs, Megan Dugan and some of the other ones, we're pretty close with. So it's been really awesome to get to know them and get to know, be able to watch hockey and understand what's going on. You know,
Yeah.
I think everybody's seen the Miracle of the Ice, but to be able to like actually understand what's going on in the games and what the players are going through has been a really cool experience. It's unfortunate, like in Pyeongchang, I think we were able to go to games, like, but this games, we just weren't even able to get up there. And in Vancouver, like, that was super easy to be able to go to the games and be able to, like, I was downtown when U.S. I didn't get to go to the game. Those tickets were crazy, but the U.S.-Canada game in Vancouver in 2010, like I was downtown when all that happened, and it was just crazy being an American, and Canada won, of course, and just being down there and all the fans and, people getting pretty violent. It's insane.
Yeah, it's intense.
Yeah.
The love of that game for sure.
Have you gotten to? Okay, so this is funny. When I was texting with Alana about this podcast, Julia, I was like, if you had told me that I had a podcast about baseball and you were coming on to talk about softball, like this would make sense. But the fact that this is a podcast about hockey and Alana is now the most decorated Olympic bobsled, it's so insane. So like it's crazy that we're talking about these winter sports, Alana, and you are
Yes.
like a beacon of Olympic sports. So it's crazy.
What
I would have
is-
never thought like softball would have brought us to talk about ice. Like it's just kind of crazy.
Not on anybody's bingo card, I don't think.
No, life's weird.
What has it been like? I'm just like literally like as much as like it might feel hard to be like doing a podcast right now, this is so real life, and so I feel it so much with your son. But coming down from that Olympic high and coming back, to the States and doing the press tour and everything, like what has that been like? And have you had a moment to like sit and finally just like take it in? Like it's just looked like it's been a whirlwind, just from a media perspective.
It definitely has been a whirlwind, and we're still going. We go to New York like tomorrow or something like that. I don't even know my schedule. So it's still been a whirlwind, and no, I haven't even had a second to process it, because at the same time, like I'm still in mom duties. Like I'm still, like the other day, I was making sure everything's in for registration for school to make sure we're all fired up. Today, I'm like trying to get summer camps in, and you're like, oh gosh, I don't even have
Today,
that.
yes.
It was supposed to be done in like October, and like they sent all the notifications. It's like I don't have time for this, but so I like even winning the gold medal is still kind of surreal. Like I still can't really believe we did it, and I still have to like take it out and look at it to know that it's actually real. So it's still kind of crazy from that, but I don't know when the come down is going to happen. I know it's going to happen pretty soon though, because like as an Olympic athlete, like what's coming is like you go from such a high moment in your life. You go from such like notoriety and stuff like that, and then you just go back to normal living, like regardless of what the outcome is. Maybe for Alyssa Liu or something like that, it might be a little bit different, but for most of us, you just go back to living your normal life. So the down is coming. It's just a matter of when it happens. But I think for us, like we've been through it for so many times, we're prepared. And the benefit of having the kids, among other things, is that you've got other stuff you've got to take care of. Like it's immediate. Like you don't have this lull where you're just like not responsible for anything or not doing anything. I mean, they even tell us like before the Olympics to plan something afterwards, like plan a vacation or make plans afterwards, regardless of the outcome. So you have something to look forward to. So it's not just all like this high of highs and to the lowest of lows.
How interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
So where do your medals live? Where's the gold medal right now? Because Kendall showed us hers the other day, and it was in a sock just on her desk.
I love that little smirk Alana just gave us.
Yeah.
Mine isn't in the sock. It's in a cabinet, though. This one is readily accessible. The other one's not so much, but this one, I keep it pretty accessible. So,
Oh, this just, it's insane.
Oh, look at the engraving.
Oh,
and then
wow.
it has women's monobob on it and whatnot.
Oh, that's
Very
cool.
cool.
I didn't know they were engraved like that. Wow.
And on the side, it's got the Olympics.
Oh my goodness.
The detail. Wow, I did not.
Yeah, how
Even
is that
know.
different from all 5 of your other medals in terms of detail? Like, how is it? Are they different every year? Like,
So the cool thing about the winter games is they all are different. The summer games, they have to have the goddess Athena on it because they have the Greek tradition of the Olympics and everything like that. But winter, because we don't have the same Olympics, like the host nation gets to completely design the medal. So they're all a little bit different. This one, I think we weighed it the other day, is like 1.4 pounds.
my God.
All of them weigh about the same, but they're all different shapes and sizes and different intricacies. And I guess this one's supposed to be, like it's split in half. Like one half's supposed to represent yourself and the other half's supposed to represent your support system. And supposed to represent also Milan and Cortina and all this kind of symbolism that goes into it. So each of them have their bit of symbolism and a story behind it, which is really cool.
oh my
Thank you for explaining that to us.
Thank you. That was
I feel like we've seen all these medals everywhere, and nobody's ever told like the actual artistic design behind it. That's
Well, somebody had to
beautiful.
explain it to me too, because I was like, well, it looks cool. I don't care. It's gold. That's all that matters to me.
Exactly. Oh wow,
that's just never
funny.
gonna get old. Seeing a
No.
gold medal IRL is just never gonna get old. So it's just in a cabinet. This should be
Yeah.
our new segment. Like, where's
Yeah.
your gold medal?
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing is like right now I'll have it out and have it accessible and different things like that. But eventually, like it'll probably just go in a safe or something like that because I actually know a couple people who have had them taken out of their homes. So
Oh God, yeah.
yeah.
Well, I saw you on some of the post interviews wearing all of yours. Did anyone like require that for one of like what were you on, like the Today Show or something like that? Like,
Yeah.
I think you had all of them on. Were they
Yeah.
like, can you just come on and wear all of your medals? Like, how'd that go down?
No, for the most part, people just want to see the gold medal. Like, I was like, oh, that's fine too. The gold, it's the prettiest, so I'll take it. But yeah, I just had them all, and I was like, well, might as well bling it out and show them all, because why not?
How's
Then
that
you're gonna
feel
need
weighted wise? Like,
Yeah,
how's
you're
that
gonna
feel?
need a chiropractic
Yeah.
appointment after.
Yeah, that's why I'm married, right?
Yep.
Because they are pretty heavy, which is it's a good problem to have. I'll take that problem. So
Yeah.
yeah.
You can get a free adjustment right after.
Yeah.
So you go back to New York tomorrow. We saw you get interviewed last week on the Kelly Clarkson Show by Pink. That was very cool. So you don't know what else is on the agenda? What other than Never Offside? What other interviews are on the agenda?
I actually don't know why I'm going to New York tomorrow. That's pretty bad. I know I have I think I've been in a morning show or something like that. I've kind of taken the approach that like my agents and everything will tell me what I'm doing when I get there. There'll be a
love it.
car or something. But for the most part, my kids aren't going with me this trip, because it's a pretty short trip. But when they are going with me, I'm a little bit more on top of it. Okay, exactly where are we going? What needs
Yeah.
to be done? And all the kind of stuff. Because the other thing with them, when they travel with me, like I have to figure out the childcare. Does a nanny travel with us? Do we find somebody locally? And all those kind of things. Because for most of my trips, they will go with me. So right now, we're still doing some media. We're still doing some events and different things like that. And yeah, still trying to catch up on all of it. So it's been a whirlwind, but it's been a lot of fun too. And I think the biggest thing is like just being able to share the sport of bobsled and hopefully get more people interested in the sport of bobsled, because yes, we were successful these games, but in order for us to continue being successful, like we need more talent. We need more people to come out and try the sports, which is pretty weird because like most people think about winter sports is like it's not accessible. It's not something I could do, but bobsled's still one of those sports, like no matter where you are in the country, that you can come and try out for the team and possibly make an Olympic team in a short amount of time.
Wow. It's really neat. Yeah, we had Will Stevens on Trailer Park News, and he's Sports Network, and he was talking about bobsled and everything and how it's just so underhyped, and there's such a need for inventory of athletes to come and like try that. So he's championing for that, on his network and things like that, which was really cool to hear.
Okay, so we have to ask you about first of all, your biggest hype man, Flava Flav.
Yeah.
It was
my
okay.
gosh.
So that beautiful video of you winning gold, and then you just hear, "Yeah, boy," in the back. I was dying. I was like, as if I'm watching. I'm crying, and then that comes on, and then I'm laughing. It was just a great moment. So he's like, you guys, is huge hype man, and he's been for quite a bit, right? So can you talk a little bit about him and his involvement? And are you involved in the Vegas event too? We need to ask about that. So
Yes, I am involved
wow.
in the Vegas event. So
fun.
I'm going to be helping out with that. And it's just been incredible to see somebody of that stature, like take an interest in, first he took an interest in water polo, which like nobody knows about water polo. And then to take an interest in bobsled and skeleton, but not just take an interest, like he actually came and went down on a bobsled, and at first we took him down from a lower start, and which we normally do for all people. Like we don't take them from the top normally. We take them down from a lower start and like get their feet wet and everything like that. But he was like, no, I want the full experience. He went down from the top and took a full ride. He did skeleton, which is like our sister sport, face first down the ice. Did it by himself. He actually just went out to a skeleton camp. and was like training with the actual athletes who are trying out. So he's serious. He's like legit, which is really cool to see. And he's just been such a huge proponent of not only our sports, but also women in sport as well. And that's where the She Got Game weekend came about. You know, it started with inviting the women's hockey team out, and then it exploded to invite all female, I think it's now at all female Olympian and Paralympic medalists. I think. And so who knows what it's going to actually expand to, but it's really exciting to like have a weekend devoted to us and our accomplishments and to celebrate us. And yeah, I'm involved in whatever capacity they need me to. It's still kind of forming and what it'll all look like, but I'm excited about it. I mean, how could you not going out to Vegas to spend a weekend with other elite athletes? It'll be super fun.
I mean, how cool was that when he tweeted about it or whatever, and then all those brands came on board? That was just like the coolest. It was just so fun to watch go down, I guess. So you're involved obviously with him. He's probably, I feel like, oh no.
Yeah, you're good. He was trying to jump off the counter.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's fine.
yeah. So you're involved with him on that. So that's gonna be really cool. Any details you can share so far?
Not so far. There have been a lot of brands reach out, and what's been cool is there's been a lot of brands like between Kendall and myself and one of the other bobsledders, Kaylee Humphries, Armbruster, whatnot. There's quite a few moms coming, and so there's been brands reach out for moms, like a stroller brand and stuff reached out, and I'm like, thanks, but I don't want to bring the kids to Vegas if I don't have to. Like, I kind of want this to be.
100%.
Don't want to do that. But so it's been really cool just to see the outpouring of support, and hopefully it grows into something pretty big, and we'll see what happens in the future. But I just think it's great, all the notoriety like women's hockey has brought to winter sport, and then just all the notoriety right now around female athletes and what we were able to accomplish at the Winter Games.
We can't wait to watch that
That's
weekend.
I'm also wondering. I'm like, can me and Kat come and get in a bobsled? Like, would that could we?
I can make that
bring
happen.
to
Yes,
life?
I can make that happen. We
I'd
could
probably
definitely
be
get
the
you guys
pusher.
involved.
I'd probably push Kat down.
Wait, I'm not kidding. The fact that we have this like elite hookup to do that's actually insane. And
So let's just put that out. And
Yeah.
we like to put things in the universe. And I'm like, I've never even thought about, but I'm a former D1 athlete too. So I feel like maybe there's a world for, hopefully I can keep my back and body in line.
we're both pretty short, but we're fast. So
That's the
Yeah.
thing. We can make that happen. You guys would have been perfect recruits in skeleton. Like perfect. Like Kat, you could have been world class in skeleton. You didn't even know it. You didn't even know it.
Hey, there's still time.
There's still time.
There's
you know,
still
I'm,
time.
I'm 41 and still doing it. So
Let's do it. Okay,
So
that's hilarious. Let's actually talk about that
Yeah,
later
I
when we all have more brain cells for that.
yes, actually, now that you put that in my mind, I'm like, maybe I could.
you missed the camp though. You just missed the camp with Flavor Flav. You could have been out there with them.
Dang it.
I should have reached out. Wait, I wanted to give you some time before I reached out.
We'll make it happen
God.
though. We'll make it happen.
Well, you've done so many cool things. It's crazy. I was just on a flight from LA to San Jose 2 days ago, and you were just on the lock screen of my Delta flight. So I was like, this is just wild. All the things you've done. I have to say, my husband Ty is a huge Top Chef fan.
Oh yeah.
So when you did that, he geeked out over that. That was really cool. So Alana was on Top Chef as a guest judge last year, leading up to the Olympics in Milan. How was that? I just have to ask, how.
Oh my gosh, I geeked out over that. The food is just as incredible as you think it was. I think it helped though that we were there was only 4 left, so it was really everybody was fine tuned and whatnot. And I was super grateful because they didn't make us do the last round of judging, so they didn't make us eliminate anybody. And I was super grateful for that because I could not have. The first round of voting, everybody pretty much voted for their person they were teamed with. You know, that's how we do as athletes. We roll with who got us there and whatnot. But each round, it got harder and harder, and the food got better and better. So I was like, I'm so glad I don't have to be in charge of eliminating people because it was incredible. And it was just super fun to be a part of. They flew us out to Milan and got to see everything. It was really cool. It was just as cool as you would think it would be.
I mean, and then your partner ended up winning the whole thing,
Yes,
right?
yeah. I like to say I was a good luck,
Yeah.
or maybe he was good luck for me. Maybe that was the secret to winning the gold medal this time around is his food. So
No, that was a very cool moment. Ty and I were watching it, not knowing you were going to pop on the screen, and when you came on, I was like,
hey, I know her.
yeah, Ty, it's our like watch show together, so that was pretty cool. So thanks for that. That was fun.
No problem.
You're. What do you want?
No.
Are you going to quick hitters?
No, I was. Yeah.
Oh, I just can't. I'm like literally just obsessed with your little boy. You have 2 little boys. Which one is this?
This is Noah. So
Noah.
he's 3, and he's crazy athletic. Like I think, that's the bonus and the downside of having 2 elite level athlete parents is because he's very athletic. So he's often pretty difficult to wrestle and pretty difficult to get him to do what we need him to do. Right now he's trying to climb the cabinets.
So he's 3, and your other one is how old?
6. He actually turned 6 on the day of closing ceremony. So.
Buddy. So we can take the camera over there and we can watch him jump off the counter. What did they? I mean, I have a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old as well, and my husband obviously I also have a 10 and an 8-year-old. My 10 and 8-year-old obviously like really get everything. My 6 and 3-year-old, I'm always like, I wonder if my 6-year-old like gets it, and my 3-year-old like what they're taking in. Do you think what did the moment mean to them when you won gold, and how did that, having them there with you the entire time, and going home to them, not the village, you're going back, with them. What did what experience kind of mean to them if they expressed it in any way? Can you share?
My 6-year-old could care less. Like, he does not care a bit. He's got his shows. He's got his Sesame Street. He's like, feed me, cuddle me, take care of me, and then that's it. He doesn't really care about bobsled at all. All he knows is like mom goes away for a couple hours a day, but she always comes back. That's the extent that he cares about it. He doesn't care about watching it or nothing. The youngest, though, Noah, he cares about it. He gets it. He understands that I'm racing, and actually, when I won the gold medal, and I explained to him, like that was a moment I explained to him down at the podium of what just happened and everything like that. Like he got it right away. But then also when I had the gold medal and I gave it to him, he started signing Noah champion. So apparently it's his gold medal now, and that's how it goes. So he's taken over. But he loves watching races. He loves all that stuff like that. He had a blast being there. How much on the grand scale he understands, of course, I think it's pretty impossible for him to understand all that, but he knows what mommy does. But the most exciting thing was like after the race, our last World Cup of the season got canceled, so we were actually done racing for the season. So when I told him, mommy's all done racing, like that's when he was most excited, because he's like, yes, I get to go home, I get to go back to doing my normal things, and they're kids. That's all they want to do. They just want to be held, cuddled, and played with, and fed whatever they want. Especially for him, being a picky eater and everything. He wants his own food. So.
Right. Oh.
Can you explain the sign language honor that you were given recently?
Yeah, so in the deaf community, both my kids are deaf, and it's a genetic mutation. We had no idea. We had no history of deafness in our family, so it's a pretty big surprise. But we've embraced the deaf community. We love it. And in the deaf community, you have name signs. And in order to get a name sign, you have to be given it by another deaf person. So I just can't create my own name sign. I thought I was going to have to wait till the kids got older to create one, which I'm super glad I didn't, because who knows what that sign would have been like. So I had a deaf woman who's an instructor of deaf children, Nicole Mitchell. She actually gifted me a name sign. And so it's the letter E, and the sign for gold is this. So it's E in the shape of gold. So it's like that.
Wow.
So it's a pretty cool gift.
So cool.
That is really special, and
Yeah.
so meaningful to your boy.
Good arm. Good arm.
So maybe a picture.
Alana always had a really good arm.
Oh my goodness. Okay, we're having this like really sweet moment talking about you being gifted something really incredible, and of course you get pelted. This Alana.
He's left-handed too, though, so you know.
Oh, he's
good.
perfect.
He's good.
Let's
yeah.
get him on the mound. Well, I guess we're gonna be watching Noah, sometime in the near future, doing something special. So, I'm dying. This is like exactly how this should be going.
Yes.
And I can't wait to see what Mr. Noah does one day.
Kids, wait, I'm actually trying to get him on skates. I think he would be. I don't know about hockey, but I think he'd be one heck of a speed skater. So definitely trying to get him on skates. I don't know what the nearest rink to us is, but he likes watching figure skating because he likes doing the twists and stuff. So I don't know what's gonna. But I definitely need to get him on skates and pretty soon.
Yeah.
While it's still fresh in his mind.
All right, we're gonna let you go. So we're gonna go into our quick hitters. So just a few questions for you. So okay, what did you watch to and from the Olympics on the plane?
Ooh, I didn't watch anything because I was with the kids. So Sesame Street. That was it.
I was gonna figure that. I mean, I wrote that question and I was like, what? Yeah.
Okay, pump up song or a theme song if you had one.
Ooh, pump up song for this last games was probably Nueva Yo with Bad Bunny, and also Walk Me Home with Pink, which was ironic because I got to meet her as well. So yeah.
Oh,
Wow, that's
perfect.
funny. Did you tell her that when she
Yeah,
interviewed
I told
you?
her.
Oh.
Yep, she was very excited.
Amazing.
That's so cool. Pre-race food, pre-race meal.
Usually we race in the morning, so it's just like hard-boiled eggs and cheese. It's pretty boring. Yeah.
Didn't know it was in the morning. I guess you can't tell with watching in California. I had no time,
Yeah,
no
what
idea
time
what
is
time
it?
I was watching you.
Yeah.
Okay, would be your go-to cheat meal?
Buffalo wings and cheese fries, but not regular, like not cheese sauce, like melted cheese fries. Those are the best. There's a big difference.
That is a big difference.
Yeah.
That sounds delish. Favorite place you've traveled to thanks to bobsled?
St. Moritz, Switzerland. Would have never gone there without bobsled, but now like it's one of my favorite places in the world, and I definitely couldn't afford to go there any other circumstance. But it's a really cool, really really awesome place.
Yeah, I saw. That's funny. That's funny you said that because this question came from when I saw that you went there like a few times. I was like, it's got to be there. It's like the chicest place ever. I feel like.
Yeah.
If you could have a superpower, what would it be and why?
Teletransportation, because it takes too long to get everywhere, especially like when for bobsled season, because our sleds are so big, we have to put our sleds on trucks and then we have to drive them from place to place to place. So we can't fly. So it's like sometimes 12-hour drives in between races, and you're going a different stop every single week. So it just takes a long time to get anywhere.
Whoa.
And are they like? I would imagine they're like crated or put like how are they packaged so they don't get damaged?
So normally they are put into a crate to get to Europe, and then they're put on planes. Actually, from the Olympics, because it's so much cheaper, we put them on boats. So we put them in a crate, and they're coming back on boats, so they won't be back here till like May or something like that. But normally, from stop to stop, we'll actually put them, like manually have to load them into trucks, and they're just in the back of the trucks, and we're driving from place to place.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like the layers of this sport that we keep like learning about is incredible.
Yeah. Wait, do you have any say in the design of the sled?
Nope. And so, which is kind of cool because most other countries, they have to buy their sleds from other places. But we actually make our sleds in the U.S. The U.S. and Switzerland, and Germany are like the only countries that actually make their sleds. Germany has some kind of ungodly budget, like $12 million a year to spend on sled technology. But in the U.S., our sleds are made actually in Mooresville, North Carolina, and they're all donated. So we have partners Advance and Debotec who donate it's over $1 million worth of sled technology and equipment and everything like that, so we can have our sleds made in the U.S. And so that gives us a huge technology advantage to be able to have our sleds produced here, and nobody else in the world could buy our sleds, so it's really cool.
They're always really beautiful. Do you have any say of like the art, like a goalie helmet kind of thing? Like,
No, they're usually designed to try and match our speed suits.
Okay.
And so usually it's like a partnership with our team, and then also Under Armour, who makes our speed suits, to kind of like create an entire picture. Like at this games too, in the monobob event, like our helmets were designed, so it was like this whole Captain America kind of theme look and kind of thing. So I kind of liked it this games.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really cool. Wow, that's so cool to know about the sleds because they were talking about it with each country coming on. Like some rented over in Europe, right? Like some were rented, some were. Wow, that's.
I'm just thinking of like the logistics of like you having to get like a broker to get them over, on a boat and think like that is hurting my head right now.
Yeah, this is very expensive. Moving bobsled is like one of the most expensive Olympic sports. Like not only moving the sleds, but buying the sleds or like even the research and development that goes into creating sleds. Like it is very expensive.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. Wow. That was cool when we were in Calgary. I think I showed you when the Cool Runnings sled and all that stuff. Very cool. Okay. Most used emoji.
The laughter emoji by far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Over the last, well, I guess over your long Olympic career, or you've probably run into a lot of people, but what has been your most starstruck moment?
Ooh. Most starstruck moment? Ooh, I've had quite a few starstruck moments. But meeting Pink, I mean, that was pretty starstruck. Like, I was pretty starstruck over that, too. But also, I guess just the amount of times I've been able to work with Billie Jean King, every time I get to work with her, like, that's a pretty big starstruck moment because you're just like, how does she know who I am? How does she have my number? Like, it's pretty incredible. So she's an icon of women's sport. Hey, buddy.
I mean, you so downplay it. You say getting to meet Pink, but you didn't meet Pink. She interviewed you.
Yes, she did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wild.
you can get more apple juice.
Oh. Most most famous person in your phone.
You okay? Yeah, okay. Most famous person is Billie Jean King, so
Okay.
that's a cool one.
Yeah, that is really cool. Love that.
Okay, if you could pick one of these movies, Cool Runnings or The Sandlot.
Cool Runnings. Have to.
Yeah.
It's just the best. But I was curious because of your softball past.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean,
yeah.
softball led me to all this. That's what's kind of crazy. Is like without softball, if I had pursued another sport, basketball or track and field, who knows what would have happened. But like failing at softball was what led to all of this. So it's pretty cool.
So wild. Okay, favorite piece of USA swag you've gotten?
Ooh.
Other than
think
your gold
actually-
medal.
Yeah. I think actually it was the helmet this games. Like the helmet looks like the monobob helmet. We wore different helmets in two-man and in monobob, but the monobob helmet, like the letters were glittery. There's stars on the side. It was glittery. Nice Captain America theme. Like it was really sharp, and we didn't know what they were going to look like or anything until they gave it to us. So we didn't have any input, and we didn't see them beforehand. So they just gave it to us, and I was like, "Wow, these are pretty cool."
Oh my god! And so you get to obviously keep that. So you have that. Oh,
Yep.
That's so cool. Wow.
Awesome.
Yeah, usually a lot of times, like even from Olympic heel, like we'll keep wearing them and things like that. But that one, I think I'm just gonna put up, and we're just gonna save that one. So.
Yeah, that's a
For sure.
cave type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you pick
It's okay. You can have
This is
it.
an important question.
Yes. I know.
Yeah. He wants to play with this medal, so that's
With his medal?
yes. he
The
wants
medal.
Oh,
Oh yeah, his. It's
So
his.
his medal.
We forgot.
It's like, why are you
Oh.
holding it from me?
yeah, he gets his medal.
Gold
All right.
medal is the best child toy.
Oh my gosh, that's no big deal.
Oh my gosh, she's putting it on you.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
oh my gosh.
See, now he's happy.
Sweet.
Now he's happy. Just because he
cry
got
right
he
now.
got to put his medal on his mom. So
Yeah.
Okay, so this one gold medal or the 5 other medals, which would you pick?
This one gold. I mean, I wouldn't have gotten it without the other 5, right? Yeah, without the other 5. But
Yeah.
definitely this gold medal takes the cake, especially because I won it with both of them. You know, I won it with both
Right.
of my sons. So it's been pretty incredible ride.
oh my gosh, I I cannot believe you have 6 insane. You're just insane, Alana.
I can't believe it either. It makes me feel better. Like I just don't even know. I don't understand. Doesn't make sense. But I've had a really fun career. That's what's been like the biggest thing is just keeping it going. Is because I still enjoy what I'm doing. And if I didn't, I'd been done a long time ago.
Yeah, and you won silver your first Olympics, right?
Bronze first.
Bronze your first Olympics.
Yep. I thought I was done after that. Like I thought that's all you need to do in life. You won an Olympic medal, you just go home and live out your days happy. But I guess there were other ideas in my head somewhere.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
we just had 4 more Olympics and 5 more medals. Crazy. Okay, finally, favorite way to spend an off day and what's next for you to tackle?
Favorite way to spend an off day is definitely sleeping. I don't get to do that much, but if I could, I would. And then also, like, there's some shows I want to catch up on. There's some things I want to be able to watch, and I haven't been able to watch a lot of things in a while because, Sesame Street takes the cake in our house. But that would be my favorite thing to do. Like, even coming from the games or whatever and being on the plane and seeing all the movies, I was like, I don't even know what half these movies are. Like, I don't know what they are. So I look forward to at some point catching up on TV shows and movies and stuff like that. And then what's for me moving forward, like still trying to figure that out. I know I'm not done competing in bobsled, but what that looks like, we'll see. Like I don't know, competing at like the World Cup level or America's Cup level is completely different than going to the Olympic level again. So we'll see what it looks like, kind of just take it year by year and see what happens from there.
Well, you're amazing, but
Yeah.
you don't need me to tell you that. It's just
Gold medal Olympian, gold medal mom, gold medal, like everything. I'm just so impressed. And I really enjoyed just getting to know you. Kat has talked so much about you, and this was just so fun hearing your story from your mouth. And you are truly remarkable, and those boys are so lucky to have you.
Oh, well, thank you so much. And I can't wait to get you guys in a sled. Whether it's bobsled or skeleton, we're going to make this happen. For
like
sure.
honestly,
Let's
this
go.
is
I'm
like manifest. Like
let's
this
do
is
it.
like a huge deal. This is a huge deal. So
We're going to do it.
I love that. Thank you, Lana.
Awesome.
Thanks for fitting us in between all your stuff. So thank you so
course.
much. It was so
Yeah,
good to
thank
see you
you.
again.
Likewise,
So-
appreciate the interview. So
Yeah.
take care.
Nice meeting you.
All right, that was Alana Myers Taylor, my former college softball teammate. I cannot say that enough. It's so crazy.
She's amazing. She's you've talked about her for forever, but she's
Forever.
so, I mean, of course she's so humble, but just everything about her, just what an incredible story. And how she was just, I mean, look, I'm juggling my guy in here now, and she had her, I really just like felt this boy mom connection with her. And just, she's amazing. And
She's insane. It's insane.
I just I love the attention and light it is bringing to her sport and to female athletes. And gosh, we've just been on a roll with these rock stars.
It's just
Rockstar
so
athletes.
yeah, rockstar. It's just so cool to like talk to your friend about like a crazy amount of accomplishments. Like what an inspiring, like what am I doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's how I feel when I'm like talking to Alana. I'm like, oh my God. Like
Yeah.
That's-
Well, what we're doing is we are going to go get ourselves on a bobsled
I
and throw ourselves
Skeleton.
down the skeleton. Apparently, Kat might be competing for the skeleton here.
that
pretty
meant a
soon.
lot because she knows my athletic ability. So for her to say that, I was like, why have we not thought of this before?
Here we go. And now I'm just joining her and bringing in our extra voices here.
It really is just a kids edition show. It's been fun.
Yeah.
Okay, speaking of kids, I ran into a lot of listeners at the last few games who have all, first of all, so cool when people tell me they watch and their favorite parts and stuff like that. It's been happening a lot lately at games, and I really appreciate that. But a lot of people have asked me about this elevated cupcake experience via Will and Mac. Have you heard of this?
I've heard about it. I still need to know the details.
Okay, so basically at our wine fundraiser 2 weeks ago or whenever that was, Ty and I had like the baseball game, watch a baseball game with us, live auction, stuff like that. So that was ours. But then Randy Hahn, who is he's the broadcaster for the Sharks, his wife owns a really great cupcake company, local. She's amazing. And so one of her giveaway or live auction was to come like make cupcakes. And Randy asked Will to be the guest shark at the event.
Oh.
So at the live auction, they went up to Will and he was like pumping up the event, whatever. And they're like, can you bring anyone like with you? And he promised while Mac was at the Olympics, he's like, yeah, I'll bring Mac with me. So it turned into this funny thing where it seemed like Will didn't ask
An
Mac's
elevated
approval.
cupcake
Yes.
experience.
Yes. So Randy was like, this is an elevated cupcake experience. And everyone was dying at that name because everyone was like, what does that mean? But yeah, so the story went that like Mac had no idea as he was like in Milan that he was being like auctioned off to like bake cupcakes with type thing, which, you know, but so why I'm bringing all this up, this is an old story, but fans thought that maybe this already happened and it wasn't documented, which as you can imagine, this is going to be hilarious. So I can confirm on this pod that it is not until September and the team will be very much covering the elevated cupcake experience. And there will be all the content everyone wants to see. So I don't know if they'll be in little aprons baking cupcakes with the winners. I don't know, but it's not until September.
They better be.
Yeah. So all the content's going to come out of that. Ty and I might even join because it just sounds fun.
Yeah.
So
That's
that
hilarious.
has not happened yet. They haven't stinted anyone.
in September. Okay, that's amazing.
Yeah, you'll get to see that. So that was a question that I got asked that a lot in our DMs and in person. So there you go. Can't wait for that. Actually, that's gonna be crazy. They're just so funny.
Do you see what is like?
Yeah, no,
I don't. So this is new. These sticks are new, but now I'm realizing. Wait, why would these have gotten here? Jeff hasn't been home. I'm like, these sticks came from. I have no idea where these came from. I don't know if somebody dropped them off from the rink or something.
Yeah, what are they? They're like CCM.
I know they're
wooden?
from the outdoor game. They're like the wood sticks.
Yeah,
that they played with. Anyways,
that's
all
cool.
sorts of things. I'm sure I'm going to have to connect with somebody to get Jeff's stuff out of his stall from here because they're on the road. His car, that was one thing. Oh my gosh, his car was at the airport. So, and I was out of town, so my mom had to go with a neighbor and drop the keys with the people, and then.
Oh, Ty and I have had to drive many former teammates who've gotten traded cars somewhere.
Yeah.
Like that's always a thing too. Like it's always a team effort. I love that your mom was involved.
Yeah, Lulu is MVP right now. She's going with me and the boys to Minnesota tomorrow. Spring break 2026 mini style, baby.
Wait. Post it all. Tag the pod.
Yeah, we are
be
on our
reposting.
adventure. We are looking forward to it. But we are hanging around in Florida, and it is going to be an adventure of the lifetime. I think.
Always.
You know.
Always.
Always.
All right.
Now my kids are begging me because we have time to go to the beach.
Okay. Well, that's fun.
Hopefully it works like this.
Yes. All right. Well, guys, let us know in the comments who you want to see next. I feel like we're we're getting so lucky with these guests we've had. So just give us more ideas. We love to hear ideas, topics, all that stuff. And we're gonna go to the beach now, I think.
Yeah.
So
we're gonna sign off, and we have no time to go to the beach, but we're going to make something happen. Anyways, if this is a piece of my life right now, this is a live look inside of it. And everybody's positive energy for solo parenting for the next little bit here. All right. Well, thanks for listening to this chaotic episode. No, don't say that. Yeah. Say thanks for listening to Never Offside. Go back and listen to past episodes.
Yeah,
and we will have a lot more coming up soon.
Is he gonna say it? Sign us off.
Bowen, sign us off. What do you want him to say?
Nothing. Thanks for listening. See you next week.
See you next week.
Nothing.
Oh, say
Nothing.
Blakey, come say thanks for listening. No, come here. Say it in the microphone.
Thanks for listening.
See you next week.
Say see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.